In this video we'll talk about object styles. Object styles are one of the few things that a lot of people don't know about. They're really powerful. So let's just go into kind of how they're used. So if you have, say you have an image that you want to give a kind of particular style to. Let's just say, you fall in love with, rounded corners. So in that case, what you can do is you can create a style that's very specific to kind of that image. And let's say, okay, let's keep it kind of simple. So basically we've just rounded the corners 0.5 inches. And you know that that's going to be applied to multiple things. You want to have that kind of in your bag of tricks. So what you're going to do is go over to Object Styles. If you don't have these things, just remember that you just go over here, go under Styles, and you can turn on any of these. Alright, so then we're just going to go to Object Styles, and it's like any of the other ones. You just create the style that you want first, and then just create a new style based on whatever you've selected. So this will be rounded corners. And then make sure that you apply that. And so now should be no kind of, make sure that this is right there. Attach that, and you can see that it's already been placed. So then I can also go in, and you've got a ton of different options for that. So I'm just going to turn the preview on. You can just kind of see kind of the amazing amount of options, but you can just go in and take a look at kind of what's all here. So I can start to assign different kind of strokes, weight to that. And again, there's no surprise that it's already, since it's been applied to these two images, the same thing kind of occurs. So that's great. And just keep in mind that, again, the styles are there to kind of allow you to be kind of really efficient with your time, but also to allow for you to be consistent. So you can see that once you get in here, the corners, you can actually tell it to turn off certain corners. So if you just want it to be rounded in one direction, you can do that. And then go back and change your mind. Didn't like the stroke, and that's been applied for everything. Okay, so another use of this that I've seen a lot of students do is say, let's just place an image. Oh, one thing I should note when I was placing the image, if you just click, it's going to place it the size that it is originally. If you place it by dragging, it'll keep the proportions, but it'll fit it to whatever kind of size of box you just put in there. Just another tip. So let's just say that I wanted this thing spanning across. So here I have this diagram, which is great. And maybe I want it to tie either to some text. Maybe I'm talking about certain things in this text that has to do with these images. So what I might want to do is create a series of leaders. So what I see constantly students do is they grab this line tool and they start to draw let me make sure that I have something some color that I'm drawing with. Alright, so I'm drawing with, black. And they do leaders such as this. Say that goes to there. Well, what happens often is that, well, InDesign isn't really a great drawing tool when you use just lines. And so if you zoom in really close here, you'll see you have problems. Things either aren't matching up, they're going past, they're doing weird things. It happens all the time when I review students. Please don't use that tool. That tool is the worst. If you're doing one line, it's great. But if you're doing multiple lines that you want connected, use the pin tool. Pin tool allows you to just select, up over. I'm holding down the shift key. Holding down the shift key allows it to be orthogonal. So go up and down and left and right. So I can do that. So that's kind of cool. But let's amp it up a bit. Let's make sure that we're on the stroke. Let's say again we're going to use this kind of magenta to highlight something. And let's go ahead and look at the stroke, and we'll see that we can also put a start and an end to this. So say at the start we want a circle, and at the end maybe we want this triangle. Alright, so that is a very specific style, and let's just kind of make it really good. I'm going to grab this tool here, which allows me to play with the vertices. And you can see when all of these are selected blue, I'm going to move the whole thing. But if I select just one, and it's the only one that's blue, and these are white, I'm just going to then move just that one. I'm using the keystrokes, the arrows, to move that. Alright, so that's that. And what I'll do is I'm going to turn that into an object style. So let's just do new, call this a leader, say OK, and make sure that's been applied. And now I'm going to hit the pen tool again, and this is still selected, so it's going to automatically place that. It should. Oh, here, there. That's there. And I'm going to hit the pen tool again. Point that out there and make sure it's on that leader. And you can see that you've created this network, and it's all done for you. And so if you, this really is probably now become somewhat ubiquitous to you, me showing this, but if down the road you decide that this color actually would be a lot better, if it was orange, everywhere that you've used that color, now you have orange placed. Okay, so again, it's just like one more thing that you have a kit of tools. The object styles are extraordinarily powerful, and they make you look really professional very quickly.